selling. Then close the deal. Then close the deal, okay? Learn to close and you'll never be without work. You'll never be without money. You'll have an organization that is booming in affluence.
You got to start thinking about taking your finances from the level you are to the level where you and your family deserve to be.
Listen, if you're on the fence about coming to a major event, I just gotta tell you, literally whatever it takes to get there is worth it.
Hey everybody, Darnell Self here in Maryland, and first of all, let me say thank you. I look at it as an honor and a privilege whenever I'm asked to come share our testimony and our journey on how we went from working at a mall to making millions from home. But more importantly, how we've been able to make a difference in the lives of others. And so I'm honored to come out to the Houston, Texas marketplace and to share our story. I don't say any of that to impress you, but to impress upon you that if it happened for me, it could happen for you and your family. At 25 years old, I was tired of working 60, 70, 80 hours a week at the mall. And I knew I was called to do something greater. And I just didn't know what that would be. I knew it was going to be something where I could help people and make a difference. And a friend of mine introduced me to LegalShield, and it changed everything in my life. In fact, I really needed it more than I knew during that season in my life. And my wife was able to walk away from her job at the age of 29. She went on maternity leave. We call it eternity leave because she never went back. We've been stay-at-home parents for our kids for 4 years. And it's just been an awesome journey. We look forward to sharing that journey. We look forward to sharing our success, but more importantly, sharing some of our failures so you can learn from the mistakes that we've made. So that way you can avoid some of the pitfalls. So we're excited about that. 7:00 p.m. In Houston, Texas, this Saturday, September the 8th. Make sure you get all the particulars from the person who invited you out to see this presentation. And I look forward to meeting you all personally. I look forward to answering questions and look forward to seeing you achieve your goals using LegalShield as a vehicle. Take care, God bless, and have an amazing week.
They're disruptive, they're noble, and they're not easily duplicated, right? The very entry is difficult. And typically have an app associated with them, right? Everything pretty much today that's progressive has an app associated with it. Like my alarm system, I can turn my alarm off from my house while I'm here in Houston right now. I can deactivate it. I can open my garage while I'm in Houston. And I live in Maryland, so everything has an app today, yes? Well, most things. So let's look at some examples of how things have become disruptive, if you're not familiar with disruptive innovation. So this is called a taxi. Now, a couple of decades from now, folks will actually have to say, now back in the day, we used to actually take a taxi. why something disruptive came out, Uber, right, and also Lyft. It's simpler, easier, and more affordable. See, I fly a lot, and typically, before Uber and Lyft, I would get off the airplane, and I would catch a cab. And before the cab even moved, there was already a fare up on the meter. I'm like, hey, where did the $7 come from? And they're like, oh, because we picked you up at the airport. And then when I got there, sometimes an additional fee tacked on. My point is, I had no idea how much it was going to cost me. But with Uber, when I press the button, I already know how much it's going to cost me. I know how long it's going to take me to get there. In fact, they even know where to pick me up from. So with a taxi, I had to know where I was. If I was in some suburban area I wasn't used to, I would have to figure out what taxi cab company to call. Then I would have to tell them where I am. So if you're ever kidnapped, check this out. And someone puts you in a truck, and you manage to escape, you can actually call Uber because they know exactly where to find you. Because I help you all. That was for free. All right, just kidding. Blockbuster, my friends, we actually used to go rent videos, I'm aging myself now, from a retail store. And where I live in Maryland, it snows, you don't have to go out the house. Well, guess what? Netflix changed that. Simpler, easier, more affordable. You can watch as many videos as you want for one monthly fee. You're getting where I'm going here now. Airbnb has done the same thing in the accommodations industry, right? People are renting rooms and homes and floors now. And it's much more affordable, it's easier. Some friends of ours went over to Spain. And so we had what we called a trip, a platinum trip with our company. Well, after we spent time in Barcelona, we went over to Tossa de Mar, right off of the Mediterranean. And that was beautiful. So my wife and I stayed at this boutique hotel, which was gorgeous. Well, our friends stayed at an Airbnb, and what they paid for the entire week, we paid for a night and a half at the boutique hotel. Right? Times have changed is all I'm saying. So Airbnb changing things. Amazon, right? Changing things. They're shutting down brick and mortar, sports stores, Borders Books. Companies been around for a long time, shutting their doors because of Amazon. Look, we're familiar with this, most of us. It's called film. Yeah, there should be a room called a dark room. Yeah, no joke. And you actually had to develop film and then send the pictures to your loved ones. Like my grandparents lived in Virginia when they were living. And I used to send, I'll never forget, I used to send pictures of my kids to my grandparents as they were getting older. And I felt so bad because by the time my grandparents got the pictures, the kids looked different. Like they got a mustache now, Grandma, I'm sorry. Right? But it took time. My point is, there are platforms now like Instagram where you can post a picture and instantaneously the world can see your photos. My point is, the world continues to move, whether you want it to or not, whether you embrace change or not, change happens. But you can profit on it if you sit in front of issues, problems that you can solve. And those who solve the biggest problems earn the biggest paychecks. And so we've got a big problem here, the legal profession. Most say it's expensive, it's unresponsive, and it's unaccountable. And we created a disruptive innovation that's simpler, easier, and more affordable. Let's talk about how this all started. Our company, LegalShield, if you've not heard of us, we've been around since 1972, so we're 45 years old. I love doing this presentation because there's a lot of businesses that are here today, gone tomorrow. Would you all agree? So it's good to see something that's solid, that has a track record. So that way you don't have to worry about the speaker being subjective. You can actually take a look at the facts because you've got historical data to take a look at. And so our company started with this gentleman right here, Mr. Stonecipher. He was in this car accident you see here in Oklahoma. He was a teacher by profession, part-time insurance salesman, found himself in a car accident. He had auto insurance to take care of that banged up car, but nothing to take care of the legal bills that were a result of that accident. Started LegalShield in 1972. We now protect over 4.6 million lives in the U.S. and Canada. We have a dedicated network of quality law firms in all 50 states and 4 provinces in Canada. And here's some third-party validation here for you, Forbes and Yahoo, CNBC, an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Here's our purpose. We protect and empower people. Our vision to provide equal access to the liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves and expects. Do you believe that as well? I believe we all deserve that. And our mission is to help people improve their lives by teaching life-transforming skills and to deliver exceptional products and services that promote peace of mind and confidence in a world that's oftentimes uncaring and selfish. So here's some things that really help you to think of reasons that perhaps could have used a lawyer before, but just didn't. This is a great spot because when I first took a look at LegalShield, I was thinking to myself, I'm a law-abiding citizen, I don't break the law, I don't really need a lawyer to prepay for. This is my thinking. But as the gentleman continued on with his presentation, I realized that bad things happen to good people too. Would you agree with this? Yeah, I mean, good people sign contracts and documents and later on wish they wouldn't have signed them. Good people have had landlord-tenant issues, been overcharged for repairs, treated unfairly, right? So it's not if, it's just when. Because I've been with LegalShield for years now, I can't tell you how many of my friends call me and say, hey, D, you still doing the legal thing? That's what my friends call it, the legal thing. And I said, yeah, man, what's going on? They said, well, I need the service. You know why? It's not if, it's just when. And when people need access to a lawyer, they don't want to spend $300 an hour for a lawyer. So they come to you. Right? As long as you're an associate with LegalShield, it's not they come to me, it's kind of weird. So here's the app that you downloaded. Many of you already downloaded this app. You want to look at your phone, you can. If not, just look at the screen, I'll walk you right through it. But someone may have sent you a link, right? It's free to download, it's called our freemium version. But if you want to actually talk to a lawyer, it's our premium version, right? So the premium version you may already have on your app, on your phone right now. It just means you get access to free legal forms. There are companies that charge you for legal forms. We just give you that, thousands of legal forms. If you want to let a friend borrow money, I put out a promissory note. That way it's legally binding. Things like that, okay? You can also ask a legal question. We have over 1,000 most commonly asked legal questions. And if that question isn't in our database, no worries. Ask the question anyway, because the more folks ask the question, the more it becomes a commonly asked legal question. And it enters our database. All that's for free. But if you want to talk to a lawyer, you just simply pay about $1 a day, you become a premium member, and you can get legal advice. You're able to pick up the phone and say, look, I just need help. Isn't this powerful? You're able to pick up the phone and have to worry about a bill showing up after that consultation. I had a situation with my truck. The dealership didn't do what I thought they should do because the truck was fairly new. When I called LegalShield, they said based on where you bought the truck and make and model of a particular issue you're having, if they keep the truck for 3 more days on the same issue, it actually falls under the limit law in the state of Virginia. You have to get your brand new truck. I would have never known that. I wouldn't have called a lawyer to find out if I didn't have LegalShield. Okay? I would have to also write letters and make phone calls on your behalf. And a lawyer writing a letter means a lot more than you writing the same letter. And look, again, we're not talking about bad people doing worse things. We just have a gentleman who's on our team. He just used the service. His mom actually has the service, and he's protected under his mom's service. We couldn't take this final exam. We tried to get in touch with his professor to let his professor know he couldn't take the exam. And so the professor didn't communicate back with him. So we failed the test, failed the class, and they actually removed him from the scholarship funds he was receiving. Not only did he lose his scholarship, he lost his housing that was a part of the scholarship. So his mom says, this doesn't sound fair to me. She calls LegalShield. LegalShield says, let us do some research. They sent a letter off to the university. The professor lets him take the test. He passed the test. They reinstate his scholarship, and he gets his housing. All that just happened this year. When you think about things like that, we get upset, we call our friends, you ain't gonna believe what just happened to me, but we typically won't call a lawyer, even if we have friends. Look, I have friends that are lawyers. I graduated from high school with friends that are now lawyers, right? One of my buddies, Dwayne, went on to Georgetown Law. He's an attorney, and that's great, but he can't help me out in every situation. In fact, he doesn't even know every area of law, because every lawyer doesn't know every area of law, like every doctor doesn't know every area of medicine. He's like, man, I even have LegalShield, thank you. He said, because my family members call me all the time asking legal questions I can't answer. He said, number 2, they want me to do it for free, and I got a job. And he says, thirdly, I want to be able to tell them to go to my friends, but my friends all charge $300 an hour. So now that I'm a LegalShield associate, I can tell them to go to LegalShield, know they're going to get an attorney that's experienced in that area of law, plus they can do it for $1 a day. It is powerful. Yeah. It's just makes sense. Now we have to review contracts and documents up to 15 pages. If you ever had a lawyer review 2 pages, you know that can be hundreds of dollars. That saved me over $10,000 from one real estate transaction I made. IRS audit assistance, if you're named in the audit. And unfortunately, I've been named in the audit. By the way, I've used almost all these areas. That's why I'm so passionate about the service. Be careful what you ask for in life. Right? When I first sat there, some of you were guests today, I was thinking, I wonder if this is real. Well, be careful what you ask for. I've used all these areas to prove to myself that is real. So be careful asking that question. Well, anyway, so I kind of hinted towards my financial situation when I joined LegalShield. My wife was working, I wasn't working. right? Too long of a story to go into at this time. So my wife was supporting me. I was trying to get my business up and running, but I was trying to find a job. They called me overqualified, so things were tight. We had 2 kids at the time. We have 4 now. And I never forget going from that place in my life, 2 years later, making a multiple 6-figure income. And the IRS, when you go from nothing to a whole lot, says, let me holler at you for a second. Right, that's how I felt like they said. And it was scary. I don't know if you've ever been able to audit. I'm laughing today, but it is a scary situation. And I was new in business. You don't keep all the records you should, and so I was scared. But guess what? I had a tax attorney with LegalShield there. And she was good. I mean, she was so good. She was saying things like this. When the archer was asking questions, my lawyer, she would look at me, and certain questions, she says, shh. My client won't be answering that question. What's your next one? I couldn't believe it, because if I was there by myself, I'd have been spitting information all over the place. Right? Because I didn't know. And I never forget the auditor went to the next question. She said, well, the next question is, and I thought, how powerful is this? Because if you don't know your rights, you don't have it. You don't get what I'm saying here? So this has saved me stress, right? Peace of mind, time, civil trial defense. Current situation here, you have a bank of hours, right? And they increase it every single year. The 5th year maxed out at 300 hours. Pre-trial and actual trial time. Family domestic services. This one you can't see, it's small, but it says a 90-day waiting period. So these things you can use it for right away. This one you have to wait 90 days for. That's uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, and name change. So, like, if you're not really feeling the person you're going home to this evening, like, you actually want to stay here a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? You got 89 more days and you can let them go, right? I'm just going to get some counsel and work it out. But my point is, you can't use this for 9 days. You're trying to help. Sorry. Sometimes my jokes are really insensitive. Sorry. This feature right here is our snap feature. It means if you have a moving traffic violation, you take a picture of that citation, it goes over to the law firm, and they tell you the best way to handle that ticket. They call you back within 8 business hours, which is powerful, right? By the way, we just launched our LegalShield to expand your product, and their service level agreement, called it SLA, their service level agreement with the law firm is 6 hours they connect back with our clients. So it's really different there. So if you get Spanish-speaking individuals, make sure you get with them. There is a LegalShield Espanol app, and it's all in Spanish. But here in English, it's 8 hours. And I love this. Even when I got a ticket out of state, I got a ticket in Waco, Texas. But I didn't have to go back to Waco. I called my firm in Maryland. They called a lawyer in Waco. They assisted me. My points were out, my fine was out. I had to send $40 in court costs. Because we don't pay for court costs, we pay for attorney fees. I would spend way more than $40 to get back to Texas. So it saved me time and it saved me money. By the way, I have 4 kids, they all drive now. Yeah, so you all know what happened when I added 1 to my auto insurance policy. Somebody help me, parents. My auto insurance is already expensive. But with LegalShield, we've kept the points off my oldest son's license, which is the one who has a problem. So if you have teenage drivers or you drive like a teenager, it's going to be really good for you, okay? You're going to love that. We also have our last will and testament on a very serious note. You know, most folks don't do any type of estate planning, living wills, things like that. And me included. I'm a little embarrassed to tell you, when I started with LegalShield, again, 2 kids at the time, and I didn't have a last will and testament. But I'm not the only one. 7 out of 10 Americans don't have a last will and testament. We all know we need one. We just don't think about it. Or we don't want to think about death. I'm saying get it done so you don't have to think about it anymore. The number one reason why people don't have a will is because it costs money. Hundreds of dollars, in some cases thousands, to have an attorney draw up a last will and testament. LegalShield gives you one at no cost. Look, my mom has 8 sisters, 1 brother. My mom's only brother, my Uncle Arthur, passed a few years ago. He was connected to life support, but my mom and her sisters didn't have to argue back and forth on whether they thought they were doing the right thing by my uncle, because it was in his living will what he would want to have happen if he was connected to life support. But I've seen siblings, blood siblings, no longer speak because there wasn't a will in place. And all I'm saying is don't put your family through that. Don't put your parents through that. Don't put your kids through that. LegalShield gives you a will just for trying out our service. And we update it each year at no additional cost. That is huge now. So again, this is a high-level overview. I'm not even touching on all of the things, but just based on what I'm going over right now, how many people see the value of protecting themselves for about $1 a day? It makes sense, right? You'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. You also have the red button at the bottom. This is a peace of mind for my wife and I that's greater than words could ever speak. I can't articulate today the peace of mind this gives my wife and I. So 2 of our sons are away in school, one in Florida and one in Baltimore, Maryland. and good kids. But they can be good kids at the right party with the wrong crowd at the wrong time. And this red button says emergency access. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, holidays included. It could be 2 in the morning on a Saturday, and you press that button, you have someone answer that phone. This is powerful. It's like having an attorney on retainer. And look, even my friends, again, who are attorneys, I don't know if I can reach them at 2 o'clock in the morning. They may be in a pool in Jamaica. Everybody with me? So even my wealthy friends have LegalShield because they know they can have access whenever they want. Plus, some of them keep attorneys on retainer for their traditional businesses, but they don't want to use that same attorney for a speeding ticket from their son. Or they may not want that attorney to know all of their personal business, right? So my point is this red button here, if you're being questioned, detained, or arrested, you have emergency access here. That's not for situations, by the way, like you stole the vehicle, you robbed the bank, right? So you're going to have to wait until the next day. All right. Contingency cases, right? This means you don't come out of your pocket with money, right? The attorneys help to win that case, and then they keep a percentage of that, and you get the remaining monies from that. 25% preferred member discount. I love the discount. Some people glaze over this slide. I love this slide because I love to save my money. It's not how much money you make Texas, but how much money you keep. Look, there's no shame in my game. I shop at Target, Walmart, and I shop at Neiman Marcus and Saks, and I mix it up so you don't know what I'm doing. So I like the discount. I do. Anything I do, I like a discount. Here, you get a minimum of 25% discount. That means after today, once you download the app, take advantage of the premium service, you'll never ever have to pay 100% for your attorney fees again. At minimum, you get a discount from this day on. Isn't that powerful? Yeah. So these are things that I like to say they typically don't happen annually. Like DUI. People, sometimes good people make bad decisions. And you may get a DUI, but not every year. Pretty good. Bankruptcy. The wealthy of the wealthiest file for bankruptcy, but not every year. Okay, good. You might get a divorce. Every year? You guys get one point here. Okay, so these are things that typically don't happen every year. Now, I love this because, and this is my, 3 of my sons now are in LegalShield. And what they market most are the member perks. Because they're in school and they try to get discounts on everything they do. So when they go to the movies, whether they're on Amazon, whether they're renewing, or I'm renewing Costco or Sam's Club membership, look, I save $5 here. My wife went to get some toaster oven from Best Buy. We saved $6 there. I saved $16 when I went to rent a car. But then the next time I went to rent a car in Sarasota, Florida, I saved $120. So it varies, right? My point is though, I save money every single time I do something. AMC Theaters, I saved $6 a ticket, and 7 of us went to the movies that night. I hope you guys know what I'm saying. I save more money by having this legal plan than I would if I didn't have the legal plan. The legal plan itself is $25 a month. I'd rather have the legal plan and not even call a lawyer and have access to member perks than not take advantage of it tonight and spend more money than I would if I didn't have a legal plan. So the legal plan is like a benefit on top of what you're already getting with all the discounts. I love it, but here's what you have to do, Texas. You got to make it a habit out of using your member perks. Yeah. It took me months to remember to use member perks. I'm spending money like, without member perks. So make it a habit, then you're going to forget. All right. Who's covered? The family's covered here. As you can see, the member, their spouse, or domestic partner, children under the age of 26 living at home or full-time, college students or students, dependent children under the age of 18, if the member's a legal guardian of that child, and then physically or mentally disabled children living at home for the life of them, all under one membership. That's integrity on LegalShield's part. So here's your choice. You get to choose a lawyer charging $250 an hour, and this is a headless lawyer. You can't even get a whole lawyer. That's a headless lawyer. Or you get an entire law firm for $1 a day. Which one makes sense? Right? It makes sense. Look, hey, Texas, look, this is the funniest thing in the world. I've been with LegalShield for a long time, right? Started in my 20s, I'm in my 40s now. And I've never, ever, in all these years, 20s, 30s, and now 40s, ever had one person tell me that's too much for a lawyer. You ain't right, you getting over on me. You ain't right, charge that much for it. Ever! No one's ever told me this. The only thing folks have told me or have asked is how can you do it for so little? Like they can't wrap their mind around a great lawyer for $1 a day. So I hear the jokes, like what kind of lawyer are they? Have they passed the bar? Are they behind bars? Do they spend time after the bar? Heard the jokes. Sorry, I didn't mean to do a double shot. But here's the point. It's not your dollar, it's not my dollar, it's called group buying power, shared economy. You know how that works. When you got 1 million people paying $1 a day, that's $1 million a day coming into our companies as revenues.
Yeah.
You bring in $1 million a day as a company, you can attract the best law firms that money can buy.
Yeah.
Our average lawyer has 22 years of experience. Why? Because we're bringing in millions, and we're able to pay the law firm 1/3 of everything we bring in. Isn't this powerful? It's
Yeah.
the best business model. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. The lawyers win. They don't have to chase ambulances for commercials on TV. We bring them to customers. Our clients win because who in the world wants to spend $300 an hour when the average person doesn't make $30 an hour at their job in America? And we win because I don't have to go to law school. Remember, 7-year bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
I didn't go to law school, but I stand in the middle. The lawyers are doing an amazing job, and the clients who want to have access to them, I put them together to make a whole lot of money. It's amazing. I'm trying to get somewhere. All right, I'm trying to help you all. Here's our second product. We only have 2 products, by the way, a legal plan, identity theft plan. This was easy for me to talk about. It takes me like 3 minutes because the media is doing all the talking for me. We know it's the #1 crime. With all the recent data breaches, there's a huge problem everyone faces called identity theft. But criminals don't just want your money anymore, they want your what? Identity. So we have something called ID Shield, our Legal Shield, our ID Shield. It's another app that looks like this. You may already have access to this on your phone. Most folks, again, think it's just financial, so they say things like, oh, I have that with my banking institution or on my credit cards. But they don't realize that's less than 30% of the incidents that happen with identity theft. What's the other 70+%? It's tax return fraud, medical claims, social security claims, credit, driver's license, criminal character, right? It just as my oldest son's girlfriend went to go file her taxes, and they said, oh, you already filed it. And she said, no, I haven't. And they said, no, you got to check on the way. She said, where's it going? Because I haven't filed my taxes. And so she tried to get some help. You know what they said the solution was? File your taxes before the thief does. What? How do I know when the thief is filed? Here's my point. You want to have access to something that's going to help you out. You get access to your credit score, which you may or may not want to see initially. But we're going to monitor and alert you, not just for, again, credit, but you're thinking about your entire digital DNA. And what I've started to use over the past few months, which I love now that I've been using it, is our ID Shield Vault. It's a password manager. Why? I forget every single password, because you got to keep changing with a character in an uppercase and a lowercase and a number. I had to call the thief who stole my identity and ask what my password was. You should know you stole it. But here's my point. I'm joking, but my point is, this is great to have. You get alerts. Some of you already received those alerts, and maybe it's that you don't have any issues, and that's always a wipe of the brow. But sometimes, hey, there is an issue, and it could be you. Maybe you went to go purchase the car, but maybe it's not you. You'd like to know if it's not you, wouldn't you? And that's what we do with our identity theft product. Hey, listen, by the way, for those who may be insurance brokers in the room, financial advisors, human resource directors, those who are decision makers, or you have a book of business, customers already, we have something called our employee benefit package, or our business solutions channel. I have colleagues who earn 6-figure years solely by doing that. They don't do what I'm doing here right now, which is basically talking about the individual plan for one person. They only go into companies and offer this as an employee benefit. So giving the person to buy you out, it's a huge opportunity there. Why? Employers are tired of employees taking time off, trying to handle situations they're not proficient in. With a limited power of attorney, we have our investigators go in as you to restore your identity for you, while the employer still gets production hours out of their employees. And so we reduce absenteeism, what we call presenteeism today. That means people are at work and they ain't thinking about work because they got problems.
Right.
And so if you're in that position, we already have a book of business or relationships with customers. You have an ancillary product. So if you don't, somebody else will. Why not earn additional dollars off of adding value to the customer base you already have influence over and trust with? Make sense? Okay, so give a person right job. By the way, we have complete restoration. This is huge. We restore your identity back to the way it was. Right? So we do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity back to pre-theft status with a $5 million service guarantee. That differentiates us from everybody else that's out there. All right, so here's the big reveal. You have the LegalShield app. I already kind of talked about it. It's $25 a month, really $24.95. Our identity theft product for your family is $24.95. The legal plan, whether it's just you or 10 of you, it's the same. It's $24.95. The identity theft product, if it's you and your family or you and your spouse, it's $24.95. But if it's just you, that means you're not married, you don't have any dependents, it's only $9.95. So our individual plan is $34.90, still about $1 a day. And our family plan, which I just love, again, because it protects my entire family, for less than $50. You're talking about $1 a day. What we pay for $1 a day, a whole year, you add that up, the average person is paying 1 hour to actually consult with an attorney. 1 year compared to 1 hour. Hope you guys are getting this. So it really just makes sense, okay? Give the person advice about, download the app, use it, and you're never going to want to live without it. Isn't that powerful? Yeah. So here we are.
The more you surround yourself with people who have your answer, the easier it becomes to get away from those who have your problem. Don't waste another minute dealing with toxic, negative, energy-draining people. Some people are wired for negativity. They love being argumentative, combative, or abusive. Run for your life as quickly as possible. Life is too short and unpredictable to deal with these emotional vampires. They feed off of stressing you out and creating drama for you. Don't waste valuable time trying to change them. Change yourself and get them out of your life. Sometimes the major stumbling block to our success are the people who surround us. If they have allowed their dreams to die and are simply waiting to be buried, you and your dream may be the next casualty. Find a workout partner or 2 or 3 if necessary and strengthen each other until all of you have reached your goals and dreams.
Give me 10 minutes and I'll be done. The last part of our presentation is how we get paid. I kind of go through this quickly because not everyone's interested in that. Some of you were invited out just because of your interest in perhaps the service, because you realize the service really is for everybody. The opportunity isn't. Some people aren't looking for additional income. I believe in multiple streams of income. I hope you do too. It's always great to have reoccurring income coming into your life, and LegalShield will offer that. Let's talk about it real quickly. How do we make money? Word of mouth marketing and team building. Right? If you're not familiar with that, let me walk you through it. Here's some word of mouth companies. Facebook. Right? So if I see a video, inspirational video, I may share it. Like, oh, this is so inspirational. But Facebook doesn't pay me when I share that video. So it's word of mouth. Uber. I tell people about Uber all the time. And if someone downloads the app, they'll send me Uber credits, which is nice. Or the Uber driver doesn't show up, they'll send me Uber credits. That's always nice. But I've never been able to pay my bills with Uber credits. I'm trying to help you. With LegalShield, powerful thing is, by talking about something I talk about anyway, that's why you gotta use it and believe in it. Otherwise, you're just selling something you don't believe to family and friends, to co-workers, whoever you're gonna be talking to. But when you believe it, you end up talking about it anyway. Like I'm working out at the gym, right? And the guy's talking to me and he's like, man, you're not gonna believe this. And I was late coming in here because my landscape didn't do what he's supposed to do. Now he won't call me back. And I said, hey man, you should have called your LegalShield attorney. He said, what's that? I said, you don't have an app. He said, no. I said, look at this app real quick. Before MSP sex, right? Look at this app real quick. He's like, what? How do I get that? I said, after we finish working out, I'll show you how to download it. He's like, thank you. He's thanking. You guys get what I'm saying? Because I believe in it. So my point is, a sale is nothing but a transfer of belief. But if you don't believe, you're transferring something you don't believe, which is disbelief. Okay. So what we do when you believe, you share with people. We pay you from $60 to $280 every single time someone says yes and takes advantage of our service. It's awesome. Yeah. I know some of you already earn a strong 6-figure income, 7-figure income, so you're looking at $60 and saying, I'm not sure if this is worth my time. Stick with me. We all start as an associate, right? We're independent associates with LegalShield, so we don't get W-2s. Right? It's like you have your own Allstate business. So you're an independent contractor with LegalShield. You're able to market LegalShield services as an independent contractor. Okay? So as an associate, off of a $49.90 plan, this is the comp plan I'm going to go over with you today, is $60 as an associate, which is a commission you would get paid. Now let's just say someone said, I don't want the identity theft product, I just want the legal plan. Well, instead of 60, you make 30, you get half. Because they took advantage of half. Does this make sense? So it's based on the premium that you turn into the company. Now watch this, after 3 customers and 1 associate, because if you get 3 customers, our vernacular is members, we call our customers members, so if you hear me say that. So if you get 3 members, 3 customers, inevitably somebody's going to say, how much you get paid off of this? Like, well, I made $60 for sharing. Can I do this too? You say yes. So 1 to 3 becomes an associate. That's what 3 and 1 means. Okay? 1 person associate, that's like me, someone who makes money by sharing the services. 3 and 1 or 6. 6 is if you just get customers. So if you just want to, hey, I know people just want the service. I don't really want to bring people into the business and build a team. Like real estate brokers probably would want to have some real estate agents, unless they just want to sell the home all by themselves. But it's up to you. Watch this. When you get 3 and 1 or 6, we force you to take a raise to $120 in commission. Like you no longer allowed to stay at 60. We won't let you. We force you to take 120. I love this. When I saw this, I'm thinking, hold up, you mean I dictate that? And they said, yes. Because when I worked at the mall, I had to wait until the time where they could evaluate me for me to get the raise. So here, I got to dictate it. Day 1, week 1, month 1, that was up to me. Okay, so you can go as fast as you want, as slow as you want, it's your business. No pressure here. After 15 customers, you're now making $140 on your 16th customer. Same look, we're doing the same activity. I'm sending someone the same app, right? Or I'm sitting down at Starbucks, just kind of sharing the overview with them. Same information, I'm just making $140 instead of $120. Isn't this powerful?
Yeah.
After 50 customers, $160. After 100 customers, $190. Again, it can take you a year, it can take you a month. It's up to you. Again, some people go into companies, offer it to 50 employees, and bam, they're right there by themselves. I didn't do it that way. I did it with the team. But it's up to you, right? Let's say you have 10 people on your team, like a real estate broker has 10 real estate agents selling homes. So I did it with the team. You had 10 people on your team, they each got 5 customers, that would be 50. You guys get what I'm saying? Okay, so there's different ways you can do it. Give the person who invites you out, we can walk you through. But first, we just want you to get paid and promoted. Don't worry about all these levels. Get paid and promoted.
Right.
Now you make 190 at this level, 230 at this level, 280, right? And these are the only monthly qualifiers. This is 25 a month. So the next month, when you market a personal membership, you're making 230. This is 50 a month, 280. And again, I did it with the team. You can do it by yourself. Let's talk about team overrides. Again, I use real estate, so let me go ahead and continue with that as an example, that industry, because most people are familiar with the real estate industry. So a real estate broker has a real estate agent. And when the agent sells the home, the broker still makes a percentage, even though they may not have sold the home. You all with me so far? Yeah. So today, let's say you're a manager, you introduce Darnell. I live in Maryland. You came to visit the monuments and the museums in DC. You came by my store, and I sold you some Levi jeans. That's what I used to sell. And you say, man, I appreciate your help. I'm not sure if you ever keep your career options open, but I'd love to share with you what I do part-time from home. And I said, sure. I'd love to look at the information. So you shoot me a quick text with the video, right? There's an app that will do that for you. I got home that night. My kids were asleep like they always were when I got home from work. So I'm frustrated. I'm thinking, I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life. So I watched your video. I liked it. I called you. Now watch, you're in Houston. I'm in Maryland. You're a manager, let's say in this example. Darnell's an associate. I called you, I said, I'm ready to get started. You said, great, go ahead and sign up right there on my website. I go to a training class in Maryland. I share the service. I make 60. You make this override, which is 20 plus 20. You make 40 every time I make 60. If you were a senior associate, you make 20 when I make 60. If you're an executive, you make 50 plus 40 plus 30 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 when I make 60. But in this example, you make 40 because you're a manager every time I make 60. Are you mad that I made 60? No, you like, go Darnell, go. This is my life. This is what I live every day. Listen to what I'm saying right now. This is huge. I hope you guys get this. Because a lot of folks say things like, when I first moved into the neighborhood we live in today, they were like, so what do you do? And I said, a company called LegalShield. And they said, what is it? I said, access to lawyers. And they said, no, but what else do you do? And I'm like, no, this is all I do. And then, because we have security that drive around in our neighborhood, and they used to always park in front of my house. I'm like, I know my neighbors are wondering what I really do, because I'm always home in the middle of the day. They're like, you give me that kind of money. But watch this. It's because I built a team of successful people. I hope you guys get this. Let's say today, Darnell had 10 customers. No, I can't at this level because 6 was moving me up. But in this example, if I had 10, I made $600. You made 40 times my 10 customers who you didn't know in Maryland, and you made 400. Are you mad at me? Yeah. What if you had 2 of me and 3 of me? That's what happened for me. I introduced my friend Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes delivered mail in Georgetown, DC. Yeah. Mike Hughes used to come to the presentation like this with his poster uniform on because he was part-time for about a year and a half. Some of you may know him because he's a celebrity now in LegalShield. But back then, he was a postal worker coming to the presentation. True story. When Mike Hughes made $1,000, LegalShield sent me $300. The override difference at the time was about 30%. I'm like, go Mike, go. I didn't care if he made more than me. When he made $10,000, LegalShield sent me $3,000. How many companies have you seen where the person at the bottom can make more than the person at the top? Typically, people at the top always make more than the person at the bottom. Like my job, my boss always made more than me. His boss made more than both of us. It was called a corporate pyramid. LegalShield said, flip that pyramid upside down. Pay the person who's doing the work the most. The person that's not doing the work won't mind getting a piece of something they didn't even do.
Yeah.
Amazing business model. And most of us aren't taught that. We're taught to start at the bottom, try to work our way up to the top. When most times we're held back, because there's a limited amount of positions. Here's an unlimited amount of positions. Yeah. So check this out. When Mike Hughes made $100,000 his second year LegalShield, and some of you know his story, LegalShield that year sent me $30,000. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I could not believe it. Mike Hughes quit his job because he never made $100,000 running from dogs. I couldn't believe it because I never made $30,000 for something I didn't do. I barely made it when I did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me find 9 more people that want to make 6 figures. So when 10 people on our team started making 6 figures, they sent us 30,000 times 10, 300,000. When 20 people on our team started making 6 figures, they sent us 30,000 times 20, 600,000. My point is, we've earned a lot of money not by stepping on other people and keeping them behind us, but by lifting them up and bringing them with us.
Yeah.
It's the best way to earn it with people. Okay, so I don't want you to think, a lot of people give me all these accolades, but it wasn't because I was so great, it's because I really like to see other people win. There's no hate or bone in my body. And in this business, the more you want to see other people win, the more you win. Alright. By the way, I should add a disclaimer. Finding people who say they want to make 6 figures and finding someone willing to do something about it can be 2 different things.
Yeah.
Okay, just thought I'd share that. By the way, the bonuses, if you do it fast, you don't have to do it fast. If you like to do it fast, there's additional bonuses to incentivize you. We have trips. And look, I know many of you already take nice trips. You go to Jamaica, you go to Hawaii, you go, like, but the trips are free.
Free.
And the trip is always better. The food is better when it's free. You can't even complain about turbulence. It feels like a massage when it's free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to help you out, Texas. You got bonuses, you have residual income. If you're not familiar with residual, it means it keeps coming in month after month, year after year, something you did one time. When I quit my job, I worked at the mall for 10 years, I don't know if I told you. When I said I quit, I can't take it anymore. They quit paying me. Can you believe it? They are something else. Yeah, when I sent me a check, since I quit, they are wrong. However, LegalShield, from my 20s and my 30s, that book of business is following me into my 40s. It will follow me into my 50s for the life of those customers. That's residual income. Does this make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
It's powerful to know you're waking up in the morning, no longer concerned about how you're going to pay your bills, but thinking about who can I bless because my bills are already being paid by money that I built up years before. So even whether you're 81 years old in the room or 18 years old in the room, God willing, if you're here 5 years from now, wouldn't it be nice to get paid off something you started years before? That's what residual income. You know how much it takes to get started with LegalShield? It's a one-time $99 to start your own LegalShield business. $99. And the state of Texas looks at LegalShield as an insurance, so it's how much to? $20. So
For a year.
Right? To do that, $20 a year to do that. Okay, so do that in the state of Texas. $99. I couldn't believe when I saw this, I'm thinking, what? Look, it's hard to start a legit business in America for $99. You can't start an illegitimate business for $99. So for $99, I'm like, really? Because people spend out on shoes they don't wear anymore. Right? They dated people they don't date any longer and spend $99. I'm trying to help y'all. So how do you get your money back? Because the biggest thing is when you invest in money in the business. Is, how do I get it back? How do I get it profitable? Here you get 3 customers. This is a recap. 1 associate, we call it a recruit. 3 in 1. You make 60 times 3, that's 180. Plus you're doing your first 20 days, you get a $180 bonus. So now it's $360, you're already in profit mode. You know what I'm saying? So that's key. Get in profit right away. Look, that point on is everything to gain, nothing to lose. You already got your money back. Just for a handful of customers. And if you know 10 people in your life right now, 7 of them don't have a last will and testament. Who's your customer? Now, if you say, look, I don't know if I can do what you're doing, great. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so I can do it without thinking about it. Like, I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to say next. It's just coming out of my mouth. However, in the beginning, I wasn't doing this. I'm sitting in the seats. But the great thing is we have tools. Back then, it was VHS tapes. But now, you've got mobile apps, you've got websites you can send folks to. This same presentation I'm doing right now, we'll be doing the same presentation next week in Nashville. I'll be in Los Angeles, California the weekend after that. My point is, you don't have to follow me around unless you like to. But if not, send folks out to the presentation. They like what they see. I did the work, you got paid. This is how I made all my money. I just sent people out. I said, look, you do the talking. I'm not going to do the talking. And all I do is bring folks. Someone else did the talking. People like what they saw because it just makes sense, like it makes sense to you. They got started and I got paid. I wasn't even there. Paid for your infrastructure. So your infrastructure you set up with your $99 business. I know it sounds crazy, but you have access to partners in Toronto, in Honolulu, in San Francisco, who will look out for your contacts and your business partners.
Yeah.
This is great. All right, so here's your expense column. You know, in business, you always have an expense column. You want to know about that? Like, so if it's gas, that's your expense column. Here's $19.95 a month to have access to run your business. I love it because even if I'm on vacation in the Dominican, I can still look at my phone and run my business. And this is important because at some point, somebody you know in Houston knows someone in Dallas, who knows someone in Oklahoma City, who knows someone in Kansas City. Before you know it, your business is growing and you're making money from folks you've never met before. It'd be nice to be able to look and track your business and look at the metrics. And so you have access to those type of things. You have contests and incentives that you have access to $20 a month. I know it's free the first month, but you get to run your business with the palm of your hand. If you met, like I met somebody at the airport today, he says, can I get more information on what you do? I said, sure, put your information right here, and I'll send you some information. You'll see the email coming through right now. Go ahead and chat. Right? So my point is, it does it for us. It'll follow up for me. It'll tell me when you watch the video, which it already alerted me today until you started to watch the video. So it's all there for $20 a month. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, only 2 slides left here. I love this one because it's a proven track record. Oh, look at Bernie, he just introduced him.
Yeah.
I can say I know somebody. All right, good. It's grown. You guys are so popular. All right, so this is Mike Hughes. This is the guy I talked about right here, the postal worker. We have 406-figure ringers. So what I'm saying is, what I said at the beginning, I have to convince you, is we got a track record. So you're going to have 406-figure ringers, 200 people with a $50,000 ring, which means you're going to do it in a 12-month time frame. That's great part-time money. Many of them are part-time. 200 billionaire club members who paid over $1 billion in commissions in the last decade. Right? So these are all real stories of real people offering a real service and making real money. All right. Let's close with this. This is key. Because I want you to know different people start for different reasons. Some folks start because they want the upfront and the residual income. And that was me. I wasn't looking for a get rich quick, but quite frankly, I needed to make some money quickly because of my situation. And that's being really transparent with you. Some folks are looking for the tax advantages. Great tax advantages in owning your own business, okay? Especially your home business. Some folks have flexibility to control their own time schedule. I love that. Go to my daughter's dance recital, my son's football game, so I arrange everything around them. They go on my calendar first, then I put my business in second, right? So I have an opportunity to do that with time schedule. Personal development in our business is not the money you make, but who you become along the way. And so you grow with it, which I love. You have mentors here, folks that can help you out. You gain those mentors and successful friends because of environments like this. I love that. There are people who meet their spouses in environments like this because they're looking for like-minded, positive, forward-thinking people. And everybody that joins our company thinks that way. Isn't that great?
Yep.
I'm telling you, we did newmatch.com, baby. You might be just about to. If you smile, nobody wants somebody frowning at you. And then folks like to live their life on their own terms, right? Especially millennials, right? It's like, look, I want to live life on my own terms. I don't want to have somebody tell me what to do until I'm 55 or 60, so the thinking is different. All right, so we have testimonies. I know some of you were asked to come up to share your testimonies. We're going to have you do that. But before we do that, if you are an associate, that means you just joined LegalShield, or you're at the first level of LegalShield. We believe in celebrating folks, so we want to give you a quick round of applause. If you're at the associate level, or perhaps you're just joining this evening, allow us to give you a quick round of applause. Can you please stand in the associate level? celebrate with one another. I know some environments, it's like, well, how'd they get there? And that's because, again, it's limited positions. They call it corporate backside. Like, I've been here longer than you, but here it's unlimited, so we recognize everybody. And by the way, that associate level, I like to recognize the most because all of my friends who've made $1 million start right there at that level. So the folks are the future millionaire club there, right? If you're a senior associate, can you please stand and be recognized? Anybody at the senior associate level? Congratulations, that's powerful. I love it. Already got their raise, already got their promotion. If you are at the manager level, can you please stand and be recognized? If you're at the senior manager level, can you please stand? If you're at the director position, that's the top permanent position in LegalShield, can you please stand? Positions above this, but we didn't go over them today. Senior director, executive director, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, titanium, kryptonite, it gets up to the silver. So if you're at any of those levels, can you please stand so we can recognize you? Alright, so this is a special evening. We decided to put this together. I say we like I had something to do with it. I was just invited to come speak. Sorry, I'm taking credit. But your marketplace decided to put this together so that folks could really hear what was going on when we still have less than 2% market penetration. And because of that, we want more boots on the ground, more mouthpieces to help us to go out and talk about having equal access to the justice system and people stressing less, worrying less, by having access to the #1 identity theft product. And so not any one person can do that. And if there was a limited amount of money or a limited amount of positions, once again, then perhaps we want to hold it all to ourselves. That would be called scarcity. But because we believe in abundance with the leadership here at LegalShield, we really do welcome everybody to come and share with some of the wealth that many of us have already seen. And so we want to do it this time. If you've been asked to come up as a testimony, we want to real quickly have you come up. Just to share with our guests who are looking at this for the first time, so they can hear and see the diversity of folks who are involved with LegalShield. Let's give them a round of applause for all of our guests.
You know the roof on fire. We gon' we're going dance like the roof on fire. We gon' drink drinks and take shots until we fall out like the roof on fire.
Hi, my name's Alex Brody. I'm 18 years old, and what LegalShield means to me is my parents have been doing it for 12 years now, and they've always been home, and all my friends thought my parents were so cool because they were always there for me, and they always brought me lunch at football games and stuff, and I want that for my future family. And about 2 weeks ago, I just hit manager, so that's what I should say.
Hello, LegalShield family. My name is Gabriel. My background is in a restaurant. I'm a restaurant manager, and I sold LegalShield about a year and a half ago. I hit the level of manager in March after convention. And what LegalShield means to me is looking to my future. First of all, looks a lot better. Looking towards financial future, and what's most important is that I can take a lot of people with me and help them do something.
Evening family, my name is Willie Russell, and my background is manufacturing management. I came to the US in 2001, worked my way up to the top of the company, and then at the age of 53 got a tap on the shoulder saying they're finished. I'm an old dad, I've got 2 6-year-old kids, twins, boy and a girl. So LegalShield has given me a second chance to build a future for those kids and leave my legacy to them even when I'm long gone.
I was a single parent what they call broke, like rock bottom broke. And I had had 7 years of legal issues before I knew about this company. And when I enrolled and got the membership and used the service, it was the first time I'd ever had an attorney treat me like they cared about me. It wasn't about how much money they could make off of me. I was very passionate about it. My background, I taught dancing and twirling, not twerking. And I wanted a different way too, because I had 4 children that I was raising, and the only time I could teach was in the evening, which took time away from my children. So the company has just paid me a ridiculous amount of money, and I am more excited today than I've ever been.
Okay, so a couple of things are going to happen this evening. One, I've been asked to do a 45-minute training this evening. We're going to take a break first for those who like to stick around on how to really elevate your business. Now, mostly for brand new folks, right? So 80% of what I'm going to say is going to be focused on if you're just getting started or if you're at some of the beginner levels with LegalShield. Now, if you've been in for a while, that's a benefit to you as well, because you want to see other people who are newer elevate, even if they elevate beyond you. Remember I talked about that? And so we're going to talk about that, and the way I want to do that is really talk about some of the mistakes that I've made, because I'm often asked doing Q&A, these question and answer sessions, if you had to do it all again, what would you do differently? And that's a great question, because there are a lot of mistakes that I've made that if I knew about them in advance, I would avoid those pitfalls. So I believe in best practices, right? I believe in learning from those who've already been successful, because if I can do what you've done and you're willing to show me what you've done, then I can duplicate those results. Does that make sense to everybody? So we're going to share that tonight, and we're looking forward to that. I'll also take a second and have a question and answer session. And so just in case you have some questions, that perhaps some things you've been struggling with in your business, right? Maybe you've been stuck at $2,000 a month. You're like, look, I'd love to get the $4,000 a month. And I'm at 2. And look, it doesn't matter where you're stuck at. Stuck is stuck, yes? And so sometimes being stuck doesn't feel good. And trust me, I've worked with a lot of people that have been stuck, and I've been stuck. And there are different things you can do, different strategies and techniques, things you can do to get out of the place where you feel perhaps stagnant. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And then, after the 45 minutes, we're going to socialize, we're going to network. And this is great, because most of my success in and outside of LegalShield has come from building relationships. Right? And the other streams of income that I have, it's because I've built relationships. Right? No, that's important. So you've seen folks come up already. You've seen folks stand up. And so those are opportunities for you to go meet folks. Folks are here from different parts of Texas. Folks have different backgrounds. So the next time you get wood flooring, perhaps you'll meet someone tonight who does flooring. You see my point? Yep. So we network with each other. So we're going to have a great time socializing. We'll have some appetizers, I think a cash bar. So get your questions answered before the cash bar opens up. Just to make sure your answers are accurate. Okay? So let's do this real quickly. Before we take our break, we're just going to take just a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back, I think is the way it's going to work, right, Ms. Davis? And I'll start the training, and then we'll hang out a little bit tonight. I just want folks, as they start to socialize, to see who the very top folks are in LegalShield, because perhaps if you're newer, you may want to make a hat to them and ask them some questions, right? You don't just have to ask me those questions. A lot of people here have a lot of success. And so if you're at that executive director level above, can you stand one more time for me so folks can see who you are? All the folks at the executive director level. Have some amazing stories. In fact, what I'll probably do right before we end the training portion is have them come up share their testimony as well. So that way, while we're socializing, you'll know a little bit about who they are. So you guys can be prepared for that. All right, so we're going to take this 5-minute break. Let's think real quickly. If you're here and you're already in LegalShield, you know this couple deserves a huge round of applause for putting this on. Let's give a round of applause for our network vice presidents here. Network vice presidents over half of the country and half of Canada, and Texas is included in that, who was responsible for helping to put this event on. All the way from Arkansas, he's here. Mr. Daniel Abbott is here. Let's take a 5-minute break, and we're going to come back and do the training, get back to the person who invited you out this evening and let them know what you like most about LegalShield. If you have any questions, I'll stand up here so you can come and get your question answered as well. Welcome to LegalShield. I look forward to working with you all.